Miss Tina asked me to say a word about Independence Day, and I can. And I'm going to tell you something, just it won't take but a few minutes, but our country was set up by believing in God. I've read most of Mr. Jefferson's letters, Mr. Franklin's writings he kept. They were not only men that believed in God. That's not going to do you a whole lot of good. They were men that believed in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Jesus said, if you believe in God, believe in me also. The devil believes in God and trembles. That don't do people a whole lot of good. Most of our modern colleges and preachers trained in seminaries will tell you that the founding fathers were deists, and that could not be further from the truth. And I always hated for someone that claims to be educated just to parrot something somebody told me without doing the research and finding out. But that's neither here nor there. I want to share a thought with you. Our country was set up on Bible principles, but it was set up based on the kind of people that were living in 1700s, 1775 through 1800. It was a different kind of people. If you go through the Bill of Rights and read the correspondence between the men that wrote the Bill of Rights, you understand that they picked out some attributes of people. And our country is based on those attributes, and I want to talk to you about one of them for just a few minutes this morning. You can say I'm a preacher talking to you about it, or a historian talking. It doesn't matter to me either way. There's a term that the founding fathers rested on. They said our country would not survive without trust in God. That Mr. Washington said that. That is the truth too. But the thing that's bringing our country down in this day and time is a little term called rugged individualism.
Amen.
In the 1700s, people didn't sit down and whine and cry and ask for somebody's help. People took care of themselves. If there was a job to be done, they did it. If they thought something, they thought it. If they said something, they stood by it. And our country, America, has always been different that way. And that's a necessary ingredient for us to keep our freedom. I don't want to bore you with these thoughts. It's very interesting to me, but we live in a day and age, and they use different terms, political correctness. They want all of us to be the same. They want everybody to follow the same little flute player. They want us to depend on the folks that's running the country. They know more than we do, and they'll take care of us, and us just march along and don't ask any questions, and for certain don't take any stand on anything. But I say to you that little term, rugged individualism, is the thing that keeps our country from going into fascism.
Amen.
Which is simply, and people says, well, we'll never be fascist people. We almost already are. They do not reward good work anymore. Everybody has to be treated the same. And if a man won't take care of his family, then the men that are working has to take care of that man's family. And the Pilgrims tried that when they first got here in 1620. They had all things in common. And after 2 years, they abandoned it because it will never work because of the depravity of human nature. If a lazy man sees that he don't have to do anything and he's going to get to eat the same as hard-working men, that's not going to work. It didn't work when the Pilgrims tried it. It's never worked in any country in the world, and it won't work in America. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
Back in the day, preachers stood up and preached against stuff that was wrong. They just preached against it. And we were awful independent, all of us. We've lost that independency. We have. It starts in school. We raise our children, teach them the Bible. They go to school and they tell them about evolution, and our kids can't say anything, can't do anything, because you've got to conform. You've got to be like everybody else. But our country wasn't based on that. Am I making myself?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Our country won't survive that. Everybody being like everybody else. So I can't make everybody go back the way it was. But you understand, if they set up our form of government to work because of this, and this, and then you take away this, and this, and this, then our government no longer works.
Amen.
It wasn't fixed to work that way.
That's right.
I'll give you an illustration. Our cars and trucks are fixed to drive with 4 tires.
Mm-hmm.
They won't drive with 3.
No, sir.
And they sure won't drive with 2. You can still have it. Won't do you any good. That's what's happening to America. So I don't know about you. I probably won't make it very much longer myself in this. But I'm going to cling to the way we was raised.
Amen. Amen.
And just because you come tell me something, I'm going to have to think on it. I'm going to have to make my own decision. Amen. They pushing on us about it, and they just tricking all you. Really. Being American means that, to me, that I got a little piece of land out there, it belongs to me. And I realize you can, I can't, but some of y'all can. You can punch up a GPS thing and find out if my truck's at my house right now. That's a wonderful invention. For thieves. And our government's being made fun of all over the world this morning, and they ought to be, for spying on people everywhere. It's sick. Don't y'all think it is? Now, I love America, and I'm proud to be an American.
Amen.
But that don't mean I got to lay down and go along and all that kind of junk. Just don't mean that. And if we've got to the place where everybody thinks, well, that's the way it is, we can't do nothing about it, we've lost this country, it won't work with that tire off the... Our republic won't work with that tire off the vehicle. Rugged individualism. Amen?
Amen.
I'm me. Well, W. Meyer, I don't expect y'all of you to like me. For sure don't expect y'all of you to agree with me. What difference does that make? If everybody was just like me, it'd be a boring place. I'm going to be me.
Amen.
That's my right as an American, and that's what protects this country, me being me.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
If I live long enough, they'll probably lock us up for it one day, but it'll be a price well paid.
Amen.
My grandchildren to see an old man that stood his ground and stood where he thought we ought to stand. I don't need nobody taking care of me. Don't need nobody making decisions for me. I'm making for myself. I do the best I can for myself. That's what made this country what it is. And that's what's taking it away from us this morning. So this is July 4th. All this is happening very quick. Might be the last July 4th celebration we ever had. It means what this one means to us. I'm going to quit that. Out of the Bible, out of the book of Jeremiah. The founding fathers saw the division of government. Because you can't give power to one person. You can't give power to one section of the government because humanity is depraved. That means if you put one fellow in charge and nobody over him, he's going to turn into a scoundrel. It can be the president, the sheriff, don't make no difference. But in America, we always had somebody over us. We always had God over us. We always had the 10 Commandments. We always had the Bible. But they don't have that no more. So everybody now just executive, judicial, legislative. The judicial in 1947 changed the whole idea of the First Amendment to the Constitution. Turned it completely upside down and backwards. Went against all precedent of law to do it. And now they're doing it every day. Because if you say anything, people's going to accuse you of not being politically correct. We don't care nothing about you being politically correct. What they're trying to do is make us all into the same little, like robots. Amen. Take our individualism away from us. And when they do that, they can control the whole place. And if you don't think that's what they want to do, you don't pay much attention, do you? They want you to eat what they want you to eat. That's right.
Yep.
I know there's good stuff to eat and bad stuff to eat. But we was raised on it. Turnip greens, salt meat. I know I might live a year or two longer if I quit eating it, but I'd rather give up to you. Because there ain't nothing like a piece of salt meat. That's my prerogative. I'm an American. You understand what I'm saying? I'm an individualist. I don't have to drink Diet Pepsi.
That's right.
I don't.
Yes.
You can't make me drink it.
Amen.
I'm an individualist. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
sir.
Boy, I hope you do, and I hope you teach it to your children
Amen.
and your grandchildren. Will it save this country? I doubt it. But at least they'll be the right kind of men and women. They'll be able to lay down and go to sleep at night. Which I don't understand how a bunch of them does that without a handful of pills or something. Because they've sold themselves out. Rugged individualism. Remember that. It's one of the tires on this republic.
Amen.
Won't work without it. They've already took the God tire off, hadn't they?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And now they're taking that tire off. Won't work. Won't roll much further. I hate that too. Because there ain't nowhere else to go. Is it? Somebody said you can go to live in Australia. Nah. Go to Canada. Nah. Nowhere else to go. There is no other country like America.
Amen.
It never has been. And it never will be again. I got to preach the gospel.
Amen.
Tried to do that faithfully 47 years, but I also got to give you a little of this every once in a while.
Thank you, preacher.
People just don't, really our problem is we don't study, we don't know anymore. And people are getting away with stuff that's just as wrong as it can be. And they're getting away with it because we don't know. People used to know. Amen?
Yes, sir.
They did. And they learned most of it in their churches. From the preachers. That's why this country's here. Because of the Bible, and because of preachers. There's two more wheels. They about took them on too.
Yes, sir.
Have a good 4th of July. And remember that freedom costs a lot.
Amen.
Nobody gave it to us. Every one of us has family that paid for it.
That's right.
And,
Amen.
price has been high. We ought not to just give it away. Something that's so precious and costs so much. God bless you. You be what you want to be. I'm going to be what I think I need to be. God bless you.
Thank you.